Hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of the Bigger Picture Show interview series, where we talk to local artists about their contribution to this year's Bigger Picture Show, a gallery-style poster show where Indie's best designers and illustrators reimagine classic film posters. All of this to benefit Indie Film Fest and sponsored, of course, by Lodge Design. Today, we are talking with Jingo De La Rosa, who created a poster based off the film Hoosiers. Welcome to the show, Jingo.
Thanks, Mercer. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
We're very happy to have you here. I love your poster, of course.
Thanks.
It's right away, why did you want to do a poster about Hoosiers? What was it about the location that made you want to design this?
I mean, there are a lot of answers to that question, really. First, I love the movie Hoosiers. Two, I love basketball. And then number three, I just love Butler basketball as well. So I mean that falls into basketball, but Butler is near and dear to my heart. So Hinkle Fieldhouse is it's kind of like a sacred place to me, and it's a very special place. So yeah, right. Seeing Hoosiers on the list is kind of a no-brainer for me, and I'm glad I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of it was kind of like the perfect excuse almost to create a poster, like, tribute to this place. I see. Yeah. I noticed you're also wearing your Butler shirt.
Oh, I got a rep, man. I got a rep. Yeah. I knew it was coming.
Yeah. So when you set about starting this poster, what overall were you trying to capture with this? Like, why did you make these design decisions that you made? What were you trying to capture in your final design?
I guess I didn't. I think I wanted it to look more like a teaser, because I mean, design wise, Hinkle Fieldhouse is a huge place. Yeah. And I wanted to feature like its facade, like that barn-like facade, which to a lot of Butler basketball fans is pretty iconic, including myself. Like if I see that, I automatically think like that arch. I automatically think Butler basketball. I automatically think Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Like a distinctive feature.
Yeah. So immediately that's exactly what I wanted it to be. Plus, I also like wanted it to look like a travel poster as well with the tagline. I think I went back and forth with a subtext as well. But yeah, and also I want it to be grayscale. I work a lot in color, like what Ross mentioned previously before this, right. I guess. So I wanted to be a little bit different too, give it a little bit more of a vintage look to it. And I added a little bit of texture in the end too, just to give it that vintage feel. So it's very different from what I've usually done. So, and I think Bigger Picture Show is a good opportunity for a lot of artists such as myself to do that, to like go beyond what we already are doing. So yeah, this poster was a good chance for me to explore it a little bit too.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's what we've been hearing a lot. Is this is a chance for people to kind of step outside of their normal routine or their normal style or comfort zone and focus a lot of energy on creating something a little bit different.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I draw a lot of architecture, so I wanted to still infuse that into the poster. So, yeah.
Right. Well, cool. Yeah. It also, it kind of reminds me of like an old photograph with the texture you laid over it too.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was intentional. I guess it worked for you.
Yeah. Oh, good. What was your process like? How did you go about tackling this poster?
I drew thumbnails first. Mm-hmm. That's always part of my process. To those who aren't
Great way to
familiar,
start.
yeah, it's a good way to start. To those who aren't familiar, thumbnails are basically little drawings. It's a good way to like lay out value and composition and layout. And it's a quick intuitive way to do it. So I did a couple um, of thumbnails, and then when I picked the layout that I wanted, I also explored what Hinkle Fieldhouse could potentially look like. First, I did an outline, just an outline of it, and then one with just a base value, and then one with some value in it. And when I had those three, I actually reached out to a couple of artists and designers to critique it a little bit, because I think feedback is very important, and I feel like I forget that a lot. Like after art school, like critique is almost out the window. So I try to get feedback from like-minded creative professionals. And yeah, once I got feedback from them, yeah, I decided on the final art.
Cool. Did you that's a great thing about feedback too, that it's easy to forget sometimes once you're out of school. Because like in school, you're constantly doing the group feedback too.
Right. Yeah. And you're required to do it.
Yeah.
But once you're out of that, it's like it's almost a relief, like, oh, I don't have to go through that.
Yeah.
But we forget that it's so important to have second, third, fourth, fifth set of eyes. Because people see things differently, and you could miss something too, which I always do.
Right. Oh, of course. It's extremely valuable. It's basically necessary. You know.
Absolutely.
I think.
Yeah.
Was this always did you go through any different like angles or ways to portray the field house, or did you always want to do this side of it?
I did a front one, and then I did one that was facing the other way, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Same angle, but like 45-degree angle, but facing the other way, but it didn't feel right to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you drive around Butler, that's the angle that you usually see, is like the 45-degree angle when you're driving on Sunset Boulevard. Like that's what you always see. So that's how I decided on that. Because to me, that's personal. Like when I drive to class, that's the angle that I always see. So it's almost like a landmark to me.
All right. Okay. See, and it's sort of like this is the familiar view of it.
For sure.
Cool. Yeah. So is this your first time doing a bigger picture show, or are you a returning guest? How many
I am a returning guest, fortunately. Yes. So I'm very lucky that I've been invited more than once before. I believe this might be my fourth or fifth year. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. It's not my first one, and I'm glad I've been invited in the past. Yeah, it's always a good time, and it's always to be included.
Oh yeah. Well, I always look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Thanks, man.
If you had to pick a favorite thing about Bigger Picture Show, what would it be?
Just one thing?
Or you know, if you had more than one, we'd love to hear it. You know,
man, there are a few things that I could think of. One off the top of my head is seeing the talent that Indianapolis has to offer, familiar ones and new ones. It's always exciting to see new ones, new designers for sure. And also the event itself is so fun. There's just a different type of energy whenever I go. I remember the first time I went, I think it was at the Opera Center. This was a few years ago. And I couldn't believe it. Yeah. I just felt the excitement of the art and design scene in Indianapolis. And I feel like it gets better every year. So yeah, I think those are the two things that I love about it, and I always look forward.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, it was hard not having to postpone it this long this year. So
yeah,
we're all really excited to get back in there and see all this stuff together.
I'm so pumped. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Well, that's all I've got. Thanks for joining us here today, Jingo.
Awesome. Hey, Mercer, thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
Of course. And thank you all, everybody, for watching. And I would like to remind anybody who's watching this who might want to see this poster and all the other awesome designs and creations we have this year to come out and see the Bigger Picture Roadshow. It's going to be at the Circle City Industrial Complex on Friday, October 29th. We hope to see you there. And thanks for watching. Goodbye, everybody.
See y'all there.